What do you think? We good? We solid?
Can't see his face over the laptop.
Ah. There we go.
A little bit more to catch your chin covered.
There we go. Yeah, I love the accent. I love the accent. That's when you know y'all not from here.
He's my redneck Romeo.
All right. So microphone check 1 2 1 2. Therapy without a degree, chapter. I don't know. We'll fill it in later. Walt Bauer to the right of me. There he is. He's back. The praise, the bow. And then, you want to introduce ourselves? We got a lovely guest over here.
Hello, my name is Darcy Lee, and I'm with Dear Delilah XO.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty really dope.
Tell the people what that is.
Yeah, what is that exactly?
All right, so Dear Delilah XO is sort of a homage to Dear Abby. It's an advice and resource blog. You can find it at deardelilaxo.com. Also Instagram at Dear Delilah XO. Delilah's Dlilah. And it's just kind of a positive, feel good, helping people deal with some of the struggles that come with living life on life's terms, being human. You know? Yeah.
By the way, I like the proper use of homage.
Hey, thanks.
I love it.
I'm sort of a grammar Nazi.
I hate I don't want to sound bougie, but when people say homage, it aggravates the shit out of me. It really bothers me.
Most of the time that I talk to people, I'm correcting their grammar in my head. I can't help it. You know, it's just one of those.
But you don't want to come off as like a snob or as like a bougie asshole.
Talking to me.
And it's not even a judgment thing.
No, I know, I'm just saying.
But in my head, yeah.
I'd probably make your head explode. Even through text messages, I'm mad, slang, the way I talk, everything. It's just, I don't got time for that shit.
Well, my kids have a hard time because I'm constantly but part of it is, I want them to at least grow up knowing. Yeah. If they decide to use slang in a different language, that's fine. I just want them to know.
Okay, yeah, at least you know it, right?
Right, so they hate having conversations with me, or even conversations in the same room as me, because I'm constantly yelling out corrections to their grammar.
So what do you basically do on a daily basis with your blog and everything?
I'm actually working on a lot. I write, I post once a week, so people write me letters, Delilah at Dear Delilah XO. And I answer the letters once a week. I usually just answer one letter a week. But I'm also working on, I'm a transformational life coach. So I'm working on setting up some online programs for that. I want to launch a podcast in the early bit of 2018.
Nice.
Yeah, I just want, people a lot. One reason that I love what y'all do is because I'm a firm believer that counseling and therapy is for everyone. Mm-hmm. It is not about, how messed up this person is versus that person. Everyone could benefit from some sort of counseling. And so I just want to make it kind of real and easy and, give people the edge that they need to get where they want to go. And sometimes all it is a nudge,
That's it.
It's not about being smarter than or having it more together than. It's about kind of helping our fellow travelers get where they want to go.
Yeah.
All right, that's really dope.
The thing is with that is a lot of people, when it comes to the therapy thing, a lot of people feel that if they get therapy that this damaged label is automatically slapped upon them. So a lot of people don't feel they need it, and like you said, everybody can use some form of therapy, whether it's creative therapy or mental therapy, anything. You can always use somebody next to you just talking you through shit.
We're not in this alone, and we're not meant to be, and nobody knows everything. So
of course,
all therapy really is counseling. It's about touching base with someone who might have a little more knowledge in a specific area that I lack, and that's fine. We're all imperfect, we're all a little bit
or someone
damaged.
that's going to maybe help you express those things, or to even kind of, a lot of times you'll maybe know what's up, but you just won't either say it, or sometimes you won't be able to put it all together.
Yeah,
so I feel
absolutely.
Sometimes you need that extra person to just kind of help you pull things. I don't know if you noticed, we have the our Wings and Visions event. It's like a life coaching event,
Okay.
But basically at the end of the day, all it is just chill, kick it with somebody. We order some wings, I buy them a free appetizer and shit, make them a vision board, but then go over those things that like you said, it just things that you're thinking about up here, but sometimes you need to have someone, pull it out of you and say, okay, how are we going to do it? What are we going to go about doing this? Shit like that.
I love vision boards. I just made my husband move everything on one wall, which was like a coat rack and a hat rack and all this stuff, and I made him move it so we could put up a big old cork board.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I like that.
Envisioning. We watched, did you guys watch was it McGregor? Was it you? What was the fight that we watched?
McGregor, Mayweather?
Yeah, McGregor and Mayweather.
Okay.
And one thing that really stood out to me was the guy interviewing him before the fight. He said to McGregor, "Did you ever see yourself here?" And McGregor said, "Hell yeah, I saw myself here. I wouldn't be here if I didn't see myself here."
Mm-hmm.
You've got to see it for it to happen.
Yep.
You know, and I love that. I think vision boards are awesome.
Yeah, you have to speak some things kind of into reality, and I feel like it's just an extra thing that helps you.
Absolutely.
And you know, we do so much shit on a daily basis, you know, through social media and just life and regular stress, that sometimes we forget even the most important goals we have. So I like to do it like that. I also have, when I make it for people, I usually have, you know, we put it on your screensaver of your phone. Like I have it on mine, you know, it's just right here.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So like literally when you open your phone, yeah, well, I got one too.
Nice.
Hold on, let me get.
There we go.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, so just so you could kind of, you know, we're always on our phones every 5 seconds. So I'm like, okay, it helps because, yeah, you may have it on a board in your wall, in your office or your room or whatever, but I feel like people just gotta always be a constant reminder of the shit that you want to accomplish.
It's true.
And also the shit, like I mix it up a little bit. Some people just put the goals on there. I put like the shit that you love too, and the people that love you.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to always remember that they're, you know, right there too.
Yeah.
And not just you, not just what you're accomplishing. The other shit.
But the why.
Exactly.
You know, because so much of
why.
what I want to do is for my family.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So you respond to the letters.
Yeah.
Okay. What else we do?
Right now it's that and then the building.
The building for everything else, right?
Yeah.
The building sometimes is like crazy.
It is.
Process.
And I've noticed, so I launched on my 40th birthday, like just the blog. And at first I was like, I can do, you know, just content, right? But it's amazing how quickly it catches up when it's a side hustle. Like, and all of a sudden it's like, I don't have the time, I don't have the sleep.
Yep.
I get up at 4:30 every morning just so that I can build some content. I like to create my own memes.
That's cool.
For Instagram. Yeah. So I like to take just nice photos, things that I found royalty free, and then I put either quotes or just ideas, whatever. And I want to do that because I want it to be all as authentic as possible.
That's awesome.
But December, I'm like, I need to take December off just to like have stuff to do for January. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So I have to kind of get back into, I want it to be consistent, but there's also so much I want to add to it. So it's about trying to find the time and fill it.
Schedule it out.
Yeah. So right now it's responding to letters, which I love. I have a Facebook group. I have a Facebook page, and then of course Instagram and the memes. But yeah.
What do you feel you get the most traction on? The blog, Instagram, Facebook group. Where do you feel like you get the most?
I would say probably Facebook.
The Facebook group?
Yeah.
Is it a page or do you have a group?
Well, I have a page and a group. My Facebook page is more popular. Okay. So, I mean, I only launched it in August. So it's very new. Yeah. And I just have like a few hundred. I have a couple hundred on Instagram and just working it. You know, one thing that I struggle with, do you guys have like an email list?
Not an email list. I have people DM us or email us. Because
I've been reading about how having an email list is the best way to get and keep, you know, the people who want exactly what you're offering. You know? Yeah, so that's something I need to look more into.
Yeah, I heard people did talk about that. People, like, I always see a lot of people still have that. Mm-hmm. My question is, I just want to, like, who pays attention to their email anymore?
I mean...
Adults?
Right, grown-ups.
No, like, you do. Like, I pay attention to my email, but it's like, I don't know.
I check my email like 7 times a day.
Yeah.
But if it's what you want, like if
maybe it's just maybe mine just has a lot of junk.
See, and that's what it is. The people I think it's for the people who are subscribing to exactly what they want, you know, and so what they want is in their box.
Yep.
Because I have a few that I subscribe to. There's some podcasts that I listen to, but I'm sort of like that because I never have time. Like I check my email a lot, but I never have time to read a lot of the resources that are provided from some of these people that I've subscribed to, you know? Yeah. So I kind of am in the middle. I get both. It's like, who has time? But I really want some of this stuff. Like, I want to learn more.
Well, no, I'm all over my phone. I'm on that shit all the time. But I'm more of a, like, I use, like, Instagram as, like, my email.
Right.
Like, I'll check, like, I listen to a lot of, like I said, we were talking about before we started rolling. I didn't even know what a podcast was until probably 3 months before we started ours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's like with mine, I'll just check their Instagram, I'll check their, I'll check their social media.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. Email, I feel like, in my opinion, I just feel like it's the most deadest social media.
Apparently, that is a myth.
Big myth.
Mine.
Yeah.
Only because, like I said, I guess it's just my bullshit. I have just bad credit. Maybe that's why. I just got a bunch of emails from Credit Karma. I get a bunch of everywhere I sign up at a store. I get them.
So just open up a new email.
Yeah. I have like.
But I feel like I've been doing that every year.
Oh. But then you use
But
new
stop
one.
giving your email address to these fucking people.
That's
like,
why.
Because I
That's
decide
what
who to
it
give it
is.
to. Like, if I want a freebie, like a giveaway, I give like one of my oldest, dumbest emails to.
If it's related to dumb shit, you're getting my Yahoo email.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're
You're
right.
getting my Yahoo. If it's
that
professional and it's real, I'll give you my Gmail.
Yeah.
But if it's like related to dumb shit, you're getting my Yahoo. And if it's really, really, really dumb shit, then you're getting my AOL.
See, you know what's funny is that's how it started. Back in the day, I had the AOL. And then it was like, okay, the Gmail was like, all right, I got to put that up for jobs. Because that's actually what a girl said to me when she was helping me with my resume. She said, nah,
You need a Gmail.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So I switched it, fucking years ago before Gmail was really popping. So I had that. So now it's already getting kind of old to where, though, the only one that is kind of legit is the therapy one. That email is good. It's just business. But then the other one, the Gmail, that's just fucked up. I got like 14 emails probably in the last 3 seconds. Like,
See, and I'm about to. The only reason I'm on my phone right now is I'm doing a little story with
oh
you
no,
all
it's
while
cool.
we
You can on the
talk.
phone all you want. Research.
But yeah, I mean I do have like 5,
Yeah, I think I have 6.
and they're like levels of similar to
I have a lot
that.
too.
You know.
I think I have 6.
6 emails?
Yeah, I have 2 Gmails. I have an AOL, I have 2 Gmails, and I have 3 Yahoos.
Yeah, I have a lot. I just tried to get a bunch of free Uber
The
rides.
main reason I have 3 Yahoos is because I play a lot of fantasy.
What up, what up?
I play a lot of fantasy
Therapy
sports.
Without Degree podcast.
What's up?
Playing right now.
I play a lot of
Yes.
fantasy sports. So like back in the day, Yahoo only used to let you do like 3 teams per email. So I had to open multiple Yahoo emails to do more than 3 fantasy teams. Because when I was like 17, 18, 19, when I first joined the Army, I had like 11 fantasy football teams.
Jesus.
But they only let you do like 2 or 3 per email.
So
Now that I'm an adult,
Now that I'm grown.
Yeah, I really use them too much.
I only have 2. But now they cost money, so it's a little
All the
different.
fantasies and shit.
Back then it was just let's do it for fun.
Everything they catch on, and then it's like,
Yeah,
wait a second,
we're gonna start fucking having probably pay to damn.
we're doing this
do
wrong. Yeah.
For real. Now, what I want to know is what are those 5 tips? Because you put the post up. How I actually originally met you. You sent me a post. I thought it was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Tell you right now.
5 small ways to make huge changes in your life.
So, can you like drop those gems or what?
Yeah, gosh. I changed it like 18 times before I actually went live
Before
with
you
it,
went
so
live,
you
right?
might have
So-
like 7 or 8.
Hey, I'm with it.
The first one, a lot of it is about how we think, right? Because how we think creates the world around us, right? So if I'm looking for negative, then I'm going to find negative because that's where my eyes are focused, right? So a lot of the things that we do in general or can do in general to transform our lives are going to have to do with the way that we approach things and the way that we think about things. So one of my very favorite things, and if I talk about it today, I will talk about it 100 more times, is going to be affirmations. Are y'all familiar with affirmations?
A little bit.
So you mentioned it earlier, speaking good things out, to God, to the universe.
Existence,
Yeah. And so affirmations are something I do on a daily basis. And what it's about is that we all have stories that we've told ourselves. Some of them might be true. Most of them are not. They're stories that started in our youth with what other kids said to us or with what family members said, or even with how we perceived other people's words or actions, right? So like a middle child might feel like they're not loved enough, even though they get the same money spent, they get the same time spent. Right. But somehow, somewhere, their perception of the world is that they're not getting the same, right?
Of course.
So that kid can grow up with these stories. And those stories are not necessarily truth, but we live them like they're truth. And they could include like, I'm not worthy of good things, or I don't really matter, or nobody would miss me if I was gone. I don't have what it takes to succeed. And we don't know we're telling ourselves these stories. It's not like every day we say, this list of things. But what affirmations are is they are kind of reframing those stories. They're changing them, erasing them. And it's positive things like, I am worthy of good things. It's basically taking the things that we want to see in our life and speaking them out. So if I want to make more money, right? Which who doesn't want to make more money?
Of course,
There are a variety of ways to do that. But one of those things is I have to be ready to receive it. So I can say I want it all day long, but if there's a part of me that doesn't feel like I'm worthy of it, or if I'm not ready to receive it, then it's not going to come to me. Like the universe is on our side, right? The universe wants good things for us. It's not holding back. It's about whether or not we're in kind of a receiving mode. So affirmations are a way to put ourselves in receiving mode on a daily basis. And that's my number one way. That is my most, it's fulfilling. It puts me in a good mood. And some of my favorite affirmations are, I am worthy of good things. Money comes to me in unexpected ways. I am brimming with energy and overflowing with joy. I have what it takes to realize my goals and dreams, And there are different ways to do it. I have a list. Every morning I wake up 4:30 in the morning and I go through, I write for 30 minutes and then I do my affirmations and I do a gratitude log. And gratitude log is number 2. So we'll get to that.
Okay, so what's that?
But with affirmations, they literally put me in a better mood. And they literally rewire your brain, okay? Because everything,
reset,
everything we think and do, it's about chemicals in the brain, right?
Yeah.
This is not, it's all science, really. And so when we say good things, we get to A, experience those good things in the moment, right? B, we're helping realize those good things for the future so we can experience them a second time. And we're also releasing happy chemicals. Right? Yeah. So it is, and the universe, time, it doesn't know whether it's happening now or happening 10 years from now, right? It's all kind of all happening all at once.
Yeah.
So that's part of why we can speak those things in creation, because when we are on a level of receiving and we speak that stuff out, the universe is like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
So affirmations, it rewires the brain and then it breaks some of those messages. Yeah, it's very cool. And it's kind of simple, and people get up, sometimes you talk to people about it and they're all like, all that new agey, silly mumbo jumbo, right? But it's real and it's scientific.
Absolutely.
I'm a firm believer in that.
You can push out the most negative thing on the planet with just positivity.
Absolutely.
You can completely flush it out.
Yeah.
Just stay positive.
When you think, go ahead.
I was gonna say, even if you don't believe it, if anyone's listening now and you don't believe it, then just try it. Just try it and really do try it, and just fight whatever non-belief you have and just try it. Because I'll tell you, I've done it, and I've done it recently, and this shit happened. We recently interviewed fucking Imani. Me and Hitomi went out there to fucking LA, and it was I told myself, yo, I'm gonna interview this dude. I was like, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen. Before I even fucking try to get in touch with them, anything, I said I was gonna do it, in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then, from the grace of God, fucking whoever, it happened. And I believe in going back to just saying, how strong I was saying, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to meet this person. It's going to be dope. And it's going to be cool.
Absolutely. And that's how it has to start. That's how it has to start. And some people approach affirmations are but aren't they lies? Well, they're not any more lies than a lot of the negative things you tell yourself. If I'm growing up telling myself that I'm not worthy of good things, or that I'm going to spend, I'm going to be alone, or nobody, those are all lies that we are completely comfortable telling ourselves, right? Mm. So affirmations, people say, well, is it fair to say it if it's not true? No, it's totally fair to say it because it can be true. You can make it true. And the universe doesn't know the difference between now and 10 years from now. So it's completely valid. It's completely valid. I had to write, there are a couple things. I listened to this one podcast, and there's a woman named Debbie Millman who's been podcasting for decades. She used to do live from New York, from the State Building. No, the Empire State Building. Okay. This is when podcasting was not a thing. You know what I mean?
First starting, yeah.
And one thing that she suggests that I've done, and the process was amazing, and I'm excited about it, was she said you sit down and you write. You write about a single day in the life of your phenomenal living. So basically it's And it's a 5 or a 10-year goal. So for college students, you'd say 10 years. For people older, like I'm 40, I mean, I'm going to do 5 years because I want to see this stuff sooner.
Okay.
But you write down everything about that day, that perfect day, your vision for your life. You start from the moment you open your eyes until the moment you go to sleep. What does that day look like? What does your house look like? What are you wearing? What kind of car are you driving? For single people, who are you waking up next to? You know what I mean? Like, what does that perfect day look like? Do you have dogs? Do you have plans? Do you have a deck on your house? Like, do you have a day job? What does that day look like from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep? And she said the longer and more detailed it is, the more likely it is to come true because you're there, you're feeling it, you're smelling it. You know what I mean? Like you're making it real. Yeah. And then you put it away and you read it every year. And she said, and it's cool, and I believe it, but she said it's like magic. She said literally everything in hers had come true. And this woman, if you're interested in looking her up, Debbie Millman, she's extremely successful in design, in podcasting.
Okay.
She lives in New York City, and so that's something I did, and it's all the same. It's all basically affirmations, vision boards.
That's what I was going to say. That's pretty much, to me, that's like it resembles a lot of the same exact thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So affirmations are definitely number one. Like, I love it. And you know what, even like say it doesn't all come true, which I believe it will and does, but just pretend it doesn't. You still have a moment of like sheer joy and fulfillment just by doing it. So if you get nothing else from it, like at least you get that. It energizes you for the day. So
that's dope.
Thanks. I mean, it's not like it's mine, but
no, I know, but still, like, to show that you're that passionate, that how much you believe it. Like I completely agree with you. So it's really hard to find people that actually like really true do believe it, because now you're going to speak that on to other people and just share the the knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. So number 2, and this isn't in a particular order. I'm pretty sure I went in a different order when I first posted it, but number 2 is a gratitude log. We forget sometimes how much power comes from a grateful heart. Right? And I tell my kids all the time, when I give you something and you're not grateful for it, I certainly don't want to give you more. And I feel like that's part of how the universe works. It's not like it's a finicky dad who's like, screw you, you're me, But, like, when we are grateful for the little things, then again, it puts us in that receiving mode for bigger things, So a gratitude journal or log, it can be done several different ways. It's something else that I do daily. What I do is I just list a page, 1 through 30 or 1 through 31. And every day I put as much as I can on that one line of things that I'm grateful for.
Okay.
Some people will write out 30 things they're grateful for, and then every day write like a paragraph about that thing.
About that, okay.
So it can be done different ways. But gratitude is another thing that kind of rewires the brain, right? And another neat thing about that, and it's similar to affirmations, is that you get to experience the joy more than once. Because if I'm grateful for my opportunity to, come to Jersey, come to New York, hang out with my family, hang out with new friends, right? If I'm grateful for that, then like I'm excited about it before it happens, right? Exactly. So there's one time I get to experience it. I get to enjoy it in the moment, right? Yeah. And then I get to look back on it with affection and joy, right? And every time I express gratitude for it, I get to like re-experience it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like reliving those memories again.
Yeah. So gratitude is a way to enjoy experiences over and over and over again. And then when we are happy, when we're joyful, when we're grateful, then we're in receiving mode again, and we're going to bring other good experiences, So gratitude's a big deal. It's a game changer, yeah. And again, it affects the chemicals in our brain. It produces more serotonin. There's one, I'm definitely not a scientist. Like, I was terrible at science and math. But there's one that affects how we sleep. So there are studies that show that gratitude can actually help us sleep better. It reduces anxiety. It's all chemical when you really think about it. Yeah. I mean, it's one reason people self-medicate, right? Drugs and alcohol, which, in moderation, there's nothing wrong with those things. But people tend to go overboard, and this is coming from a recovering addict, so this is not coming from a judgment place, Yeah. But we tend to go overboard because we don't have healthy ways to experience some of these things, so we go to self-medicating. But the same chemicals are released through affirmations and through gratitude. You know, and a neat thing about that is that when we use drugs and alcohol to medicate or to feel joy, what's happening is we're dumping buckets of those chemicals, right? And then we start to deplete them, and then our brain can't make them as quickly or as much, right? So when we can find things like gratitude, affirmations, and some of the other things that we can do, then we're getting some of the same effect, but without all the negative consequences and side effects. So affirmations. Tell me if I'm talking about it too much.
No, I love it. I love it. Hit us. Yeah, that's good. The gratitude one is different. That I haven't really heard too many people speak too much on, so that's really
okay. I love it, and it's one thing.
That's good. It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at everything is about perception, right? You could be
Perception is reality.
Yeah, exactly. But it's our reality, but it's not necessarily the big picture, right? Because if we're standing on two different sides of a tree, we're in the same place, but we're seeing two different things, right? And so you could take one situation. I want to refer to my husband a lot because he's my favorite person. But we have conversations like this all the time. But one thing happened. So we live in rural Georgia, right? Yeah. So we live in a trailer on a hill, like out in the middle of nowhere.
Shout out to Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia, Tennessee area. It's the bomb. I mean, the best is we have horses and cows all over the place. It's beautiful and I love it. And have you guys ever heard like first world problems? Okay, so one of our first world problems is we have like 4 vehicles, but half of them don't run half the time, right? And so his vehicle had this issue where like if it sat for 2 days, it just wouldn't start. And then finally he got it towed somewhere, and as soon as it got to the lot, it started back up, right? And then he brings it home, and then it doesn't start again. And so he was livid, and it's frustrating. We both work 40 minutes from our house. When a vehicle doesn't start, it changes our whole day, right?
It's not like we just took a bus.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, there's no public transit where we are. So he's like, I'm gonna have to pay a damn $1,500 at the dealer just to get this fixed, right? And he brings it. Well, he got it fixed for about $150, which is phenomenal, especially when we're expecting $1,500.
Yeah.
But his initial response, which most of us think this way, like we for some reason are wired to think negatively, right?
Of course.
So his first response was, well, if I had known it was just that part, I could have spent $40 and had it fixed for next to nothing. And so we go straight to the negative, right? That's just for some reason how we do.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
natural.
Yeah, and so sometimes it just takes a change in perspective to say, well, that's true. That's one way of looking at it. But another way of looking at it is you thought you were going to spend $1,500 and literally spent a tenth of it, right? So
that's a big difference.
Yeah, and yes, we can choose the negative, and it is a truth, but it's not the only truth. And we have to decide, like, do we want to be right or do we want to be happy? You know. And I saw this meme. It says, you know, when you look at something about looking at the negative, somebody can hand you a cactus, but you don't have to sit on it, right? So that's the difference. Like, I can have the cactus and just enjoy it, or I can be all like, rah, 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 and sit on it and then have to deal with, you know? And so just learning perspective, to focus on the positive, because it's just as true as any of the negative. But some of us are just much more comfortable being unhappy based on how we were raised, based on what we've learned, you know? So it's all that perspective. And I don't remember why I started talking about that.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
You brought something up, and I remember talking about standing on the same side of a tree, and I don't remember where.
Perception.
Yeah. Well, perception, everything. It changes. When we can change our perception, that's one reason therapy, I think, is necessary for everyone, because sometimes all it takes is a little nudge to the left or a nudge to the right to see something different.
Of course, just something a little different outside the box.
Yeah. Gratitude. That's where it started, and you said that was different. Yeah.
Either way, that's really... no, that's a great fucking point, though. Because you're right, everyone does that shit. Everyone.
Yeah.
You know, not many people will be like... I don't know, sometimes, like... You just never, ever go and think about, like, oh, shit, thank God. I thought, you know, I'll be like, well, fuck, I could have done this. Just always go to that side.
And it takes practice. If you want to be good at anything, it takes practice, right? So changing and transforming your life, it takes practice. Gratitude takes practice. Right?
It's not going to happen overnight.
Absolutely not. It's going to take a lot of work. And there are definitely, I consider myself to be pretty healthy, pretty well adjusted, right? But there are definitely times where he has to kind of give me a spoonful of my own medicine, you know, where it's like, it could be worse, you know, like, and it's true. you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just about being kind of grateful for where I am while still working toward where I want to be. You know?
That's dope.
So that's 2. We got gratitude and affirmations. 1 is getting up a little bit earlier. I guess that's number 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Getting it. So as far as 5 small changes to make, 5 small ways to make huge changes. Number 3 would be getting up a little bit earlier. And one thing to keep in mind with any change we're trying to make is that start small, just start. So I'm not saying I get up at 4:30, right? If somebody told me a year ago that I'd be getting up at 4:30, like I'd be flipping them the bird. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life, right? But
whoa, slow down.
like not cool, you know. But it has been such a game changer, and now it is literally some of my favorite time of my entire day.
It's because it's basically you time.
You know, I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is actually because you saw me on the live the other day. I just didn't go to bed yet because I'm more of a night person. But it's kind of funny because I never really was in the gym at that time, and I've been going lately around 3:30, 4:35, and I'm like, you know what? Because I've heard someone say that before. I don't know if you ever heard of Eric Thomas. He's a motivational speaker.
I have not.
Really, really dope. He's my favorite motivational speaker.
Okay.
I'll send you a lot of his stuff. But he wakes up at 3 every day.
Whew.
3 o'clock.
Oh, no.
No, but this dude swears by it.
What time does he go to bed?
A little much.
Like 9 to 10, but he's... But anyway, basically, obviously 3 is a little too much. But then he did say, basically in that time, you know, you do get a lot of different things done that the world kind of doesn't let open to you.
Yeah.
Now, but for me, though, I'm kind of the opposite. I'm more of a night person. So I have experienced that a little earlier, but I ain't gonna lie. There's nothing like that 3 to fucking 6 because it's like the world's off. Because the night people are sleeping and the morning people just aren't really up yet.
No.
So you kind of do get like social. You can't even really get much on social media. So you're like, all right, like you really have kind of you time to kind of just like kind of get in your thoughts or really just maybe handle the shit that during the day, like going back to what we said earlier, we just have so much like cluster, you know, going in.
It is so hectic. Like we have 1,000 different things demanding our time or that we're perceiving as demanding our time. And so, but if you are, you know, we're not talking about, you don't have to get up at 4:30 to make that change, right? If somebody got up 30 minutes earlier to start, if we get up just 30 minutes earlier and decide what you want to do with that 30 minutes, whether it's drink a cup of coffee, I write. I'm a firm believer in the power of writing. But I mean, stretch. Well, and stretch is number 4. But like, you know, whatever you want to do, start with 30 minutes and have a plan for it so that you have a reason to get up.
Well, wait, with this 30 minutes, are you then going to bed earlier? 30 minutes?
You know, here's the thing about sleep.
This is the question. This is the hard part. So, like, I wish I could be a morning person, but I can't go to bed at fucking 10 o'clock.
Well, and I think different people, well, different people have different sleep needs. But one thing that I read about years ago, and my dad talked to me about it, is that there used to be a time where people would wake up in the middle of the night, stay up for 2 hours, read, write, do things, and then go back to sleep. And they called it like second sleep, or I don't know. But the point is, we have different sleep cycles. So I have found that when I get 6 hours, I do pretty good. And it used to not be that way.
Same here.
Because 8 hours isn't good for me because it's in the middle of a sleep cycle.
Too much.
So I basically have to sleep like 9 to 12. You know what I mean? It has to be in certain cycles. And obviously that would be...
Of course,
Yeah. So for me, I found that if I can get... we go to bed about 10, right? And I get up at 4:30. You go to bed at 11. Sorry, that's my husband in the background.
It's all good. It's all good.
He goes to bed at 11. I shoot for 10. And in all honesty, by about 9:30, I want to be like in the bed, laying down, you know, teeth brushed and like ready in case I fall asleep watching a show, right? And oftentimes I'll wake up on my own without my alarm at about 4 or 4:15. Now I'll lay there until about 4:30. But my body, I've just found a sleep cycle that works for me.
Yeah.
So I think for 30 minutes, I would suggest not going to bed earlier because part of why you want to get up 30 minutes earlier is you want to have extra time for productivity, whatever it is you want to produce.
Of course, yeah.
Whether it's relaxation, whether it's work, whatever. We go to bed at the same time, and I just get up earlier. So I have more time.
More time, right?
Yeah, and I have to. Like, I have a day job right now, and I like it, and I'm grateful for it. I appreciate it, but it's not like my heart's passion. It's not what I want to be doing 8 hours a day.
Of course, yeah.
So in order to get my side hustle to where I want it to be, I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
You have to
and
do that
it.
extra time, yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Sleep has a lot to do with how you feel. Sleep has a lot to do with everything. I'm actually going to soon check this book out. It's called Sleep Smarter. Have you ever heard of it? It's about anyone listening. If you're interested about your health or you want to improve your health or whatever, it's called Sleep Smarter. It's by Sean Stevenson. I listen to his podcast. I listen to the Mental Health Show.
So I'm writing down all these people that you're talking
Okay, yeah. Sean Stevenson called it. The book is called Sleep Smarter. It's like an award-winning book. I'm not going to read it because I can't. I don't have patience to read, but I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to listen to the audio version. I can't. I'm just not a reader. I'm going to listen to the audio while I drive. I'm an Uber driver, but now
Just read the fucking book.
Don't hate. Not everybody's in the same place.
I'm going to listen to it. What's wrong with listening to it?
There's no intimacy in that. There's no.
That's intimate.
I listen to podcasts.
Yeah,
You listen to podcasts, but how much of a podcast that you listen to actually sticks in your brain?
I think some
As opposed to, let's say you have something that's written in a book and something that you're hearing over a microphone. You're gonna retain 90% of that information.
Not necessarily.
With this, you're gonna retain like 10% of it, especially if you're doing it while you're in your car and you have a million other things going on. You're working, you're in the middle of shit. You sit home at night by yourself, you read a book, you're gonna retain 90% of that information.
Well, I think different people
have different
learning
strokes
styles.
for different folks. I get it, but
I'm not a good reader. Like I've always had a big comprehension problem.
you know
how
to read, right?
Well, no, I know.
Yeah,
how to read,
but people's brains work differently. Like just like some people learn, kinetically. So they do better if they're standing up. They can focus better, right?
Yeah.
Some people focus better sitting down. You know, I like to read. I mean, I've always been an avid reader. However, when I get to listen to podcasts, it's a different thing for me. Because there are times where I'll read the same paragraph 13 times and be like, I have no idea what it just said. You know, so I just think it's about where we are.
80% of the time.
Yeah.
But it's the way the content is. Books are meant to be read.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what audiobooks are? Audiobooks are the escalators of the world. They're the escalators of literature.
Come on. What if it's just about like trying to fit it in once in a while?
Well,
like
how about just
schedule.
take the fucking steps and read the book?
Oh my gosh. No. I mean, okay, look.
You know, actually, they're even worse. Audiobooks aren't even escalators. You know what they are? They're them moving walkways in airports. That's what they are.
Hey, if I get there faster,
Look, I'm going to tell you something. There's a podcast called Classic Tales. It is the bomb, and all it is this guy reading all these classic tales with a British accent.
But that's what I'm saying.
amazing.
It's the content. The content of it. You're getting that verbally because that's the way that content is put out.
Well, isn't that what?
You're listening to an audiobook. So what you're doing is you're basically listening to somebody else reading that book for you. That is lazy as shit.
Oh my gosh. Well, we might have to. Here's the thing. Okay. So while I agree, I love reading. I think it is important. I think it shapes our mind. However, if someone, say you have a mom or a dad, they have a full-time job, they have kids, they don't have the time every night to read a book, but what they do have is the time in their car driving to work doing not a damn other thing, and they can hear that book and receive its content, then do it.
Not at all,
yeah.
He's like,
We'll just have to agree to disagree. It's
I don't
okay.
know.
It's okay.
Nope.
Right? We're all just different.
Listen to a podcast, listen to the radio, whatever. When it comes to books, read the book.
Wow, are you drinking Haterade? Is that what this is?
Haterade to audio books, yo. What happened?
So, anyway.
Okay, so it's on to the next one then.
Okay, so gratitude, affirmations, wake up a little earlier. And as far as waking up a little earlier, just remember, like, start small, just start. You know, 30 minutes. Make a plan for that 30 minutes, whether it's relaxation, productivity, reading, listening to an audiobook.
Read the
whatever
goddamn book.
Whatever you want to do in that 30 minutes. Right?
Read the book.
But just start there. And then, after some time, maybe another 30 minutes. And there will be a line, and you have to figure out where that line is for you. But getting up earlier, for some people, it's about getting the exercise in earlier, right? But really, so much of it is about having that edge, right? I know for me, when I go into work, I have to be at my day job at 8 o'clock. When I go in, I feel like I have a leg up, right? I feel like I have an edge because I have already been up for 4 hours, 3.5 hours, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm already doing this. So that comes with it too. Number 4 is stretch. So, yoga is super popular, right? I personally suck at yoga. And they always say, like, you can't suck at it, it's a practice. No, I suck at it. Like, I am not a yoga person.
I've never tried it. I really wanted to just because of other reasons.
So you know what you can do? You could go on YouTube and just watch other people do yoga.
How do you compare? No, they're not
different.
comparable.
That's different.
They're not even comparable. Here's the deal. Because listening to an book has certain
but
benefits.
you're listening to the book in that person's perception. You're listening to it in their...
No.
In the way that
All right,
they're
we're
reading
getting
the
off
book.
task, sir. Look,
You're not reading the book. They're reading the book.
So what? Well, you still at least have a story. Our world revolves around storytelling, right? So if nothing else, you're hearing a story that's going to affect how you see the world.
Actually, you know what? We're gonna do a poll after this podcast.
I'll agree with you on that.
After this podcast releases, we're gonna do a poll. We're gonna see what the percentage is who agrees with Walt.
There are several benefits to reading. You may miss out on some of those benefits from audio. I will agree. But there are still some benefits that you will get from someone reading to you.
Yeah, like your mother when you're 4 years old. That's it.
Oh my gosh. You are never too old to have a story told to you. Ever.
A story, yes. Do you want to read
a story?
Do you want to read an entire novel read to you like you're a 3-year-old?
It's a story.
Yes.
If it's a nice story and you like the voice of the person reading it, yes, because you still get to lay there and you get to paint this picture in your head. You get to see the clothes that they're wearing and the way their hair is and the dancing. You get to see all that. Like, just imagining things is still healthy for the brain.
But you can do that while you're reading the book.
We're not saying that you can't. All we're saying is that there are benefits that come with reading, right?
Yeah.
Some of those benefits, not all of them, some of those benefits you can also get through hearing an audiobook. There's nothing wrong with that. However,
I'm not
stretching,
saying there's
no.
something wrong. I'm not saying there's something wrong. I'm just
you
saying.
are saying it's wrong. You're calling lazy.
That is lazy. That is laziness at its finest.
Stretching
Is not lazy.
is a good way. We're moving on to number 4. So the benefits from stretching include circulation, right? Increase in circulation, blood flow.
Okay.
And we've got to remember, so we're talking about the brain, right?
Yeah.
More oxygenated blood going through the body is obviously going to affect the brain, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm talking about, like I said, I suck at yoga. I've always wanted to be good at it because I love that whole Zen idea of like, this is really uncomfortable, but I'm like super enlightened right now.
Yeah.
That's not me. But little stretches that you can do in the morning and throughout the day, little office stretches, right? It helps increase energy because of the oxygenated blood. Obviously helps flexibility. It helps with like reducing your risk of injury and things like that. But more than anything, it increases blood flow, it increases energy, and then that's going to help focus. So you can start in the morning with that, and then do it
in a little bit throughout the day.
Yeah, at work, that 3 o'clock slump or that 1 o'clock slump or just after lunch, do some few. And we're just talking about like, the kind that you did in like middle school gym, right? Stretching the legs and the arms.
Stretches, yeah. A lot of people don't stretch.
No, and I think we have like this all or nothing mentality. So like for me, for a long time, I was like, I suck at yoga, so I'm not going to do anything. It's like there's an in between, and we have to be able to find that in between. With everything, start small, just start. So the stretching, you don't have to be some kind of yogi master. Just
do a little stretches in the bathroom.
Yeah, and you'll feel it. Like you'll feel the benefits of it.
But if you guys want to check out that 5th point, all right, you have to go over to the Facebook page. What's the Facebook page?
Facebook.com/DearDelilahXO.
All right, so check that out. You heard the first 4 here. All right, we're not going to drop all the gems today. All right, I want them to check out your Facebook page. All right, then you can find out the 5th gem. What is it? It's a live post. It's pinned on the top of your page.
Yeah, so it's pinned on the top of my page. It was my first live video. All of my dogs make an appearance. Uninvited, but
I'm with that.
Yeah.
Now, folks, you can listen to that as well. You don't really have to watch it. You can listen to it, and you'll probably get the content just as good.
You won't. You won't because
you don't know what they will and won't. Different people learn differently.
Also, guys, anyone that's listening to this, I want you to, look out for us because we're gonna make a poll to see if y'all agree with Walter, y'all agree with us. So, like I said, if y'all agree with Walt, just vote on it.
They're gonna agree with you because we live in a lazy ass America now.
So, Walter, since you love to read, you should go to my blog and read it.
I would. I will.
All right.
100%.
Awesome. My first blog post is the one I'm most proud of. It's called 30 Years Later. I posted it on my 40th birthday.
Absolutely read it.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Because reading helps, and it's not an argument here. This is actual. Reading helps you, like, it helps your brain activity. It makes your brain just glow. It helps with your vocabulary. It helps with so many things.
I agree with all
And that's why I say that the audiobooks and shit like that are laziness, because you're not making that concerted effort to better yourself, to better your vocabulary. You're just like, fuck it, press play.
Well,
shout out to Walt Bauer. Shout out to Walt. I'm gonna go download Audible. Just so you know, now we're never getting Audible as a sponsor.
Fuck audiobook. I want them as no
Audible.
sponsor.
Like, what if we were on the verge? Like, what if they were just like, you know what? I've been watching Therapy Without a Degree. I think we're gonna sponsor them now. Nope. Threw that out the window.
Hey, Audible, suck sack.
Aww.
We're gonna get a Barnes and Noble sponsorship.
We probably will. Now I see this shit.
Bam.
I'm with that, yo. But shout out to you. Thank you for coming through.
Hey, thanks
all the
for
way
having
from
me.
fucking Georgia.
Yeah, Tennessee, Georgia. Woo-hoo.
I'm with that. Maybe we could do another one as well. If we go down to Georgia, maybe if you're down for that.
I'm telling you, y'all, Chattanooga is a great city. I promise. It's like on top 10 tourist city. There's a lot to do. The city itself is fun. It's live, and then we're surrounded by mountains and river, and so if you like hiking, something's for you. If you like the nightlife, something's for you. But yes, come to Chattanooga. We'll kick it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with that. We also do some live sessions.
Country music fan?
I like some country music. So when I get tired of everything else, I'll have the country station on for a couple days.
Well, I mean, down there you probably got like 7 country stations.
Yeah,
right?
there's a lot.
I know when we travel to Virginia for work, it's like every other station is country.
Yeah.
Up here, we only have 1.
And the closer you get to Nashville, because Nashville, music capital, it's harder to find.
I actually just started listening to country music like a year ago.
Yeah, I know what happened to him.
It's such a great genre of music. It really is.
And if you come to Chattanooga, we're only 2 hours from Nashville, and you go to Nashville, like downtown, and every block has a live country show going on. I mean, it's fun.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
you gotta
The
make
shows
the
are fun.
trip. Yeah.
It's like you feel that music. It's like it touches your soul.
Yeah.
What if you're reading the music though? Is it better to read the music off the
Well, music is different. That's why I said the way the content is meant to be put out, you fuckface.
It's gonna mess with you now. But anyone listening to this, also check out our Instagram, Therapy Without a Degree. Check out the website, therapywithoutadegree.com. Got the hoodies, got the shirts for sale. We got Gaber Therapy shirts. I got Hookah Therapy shirts. A bunch of shit. We got it all on there. All right. Also got the Wings of Visions coming up this Wednesday. So you guys can sign up for that and get a vision board. All right. And also at the end of our show, we usually have everyone shout out just something that you want to kind of give. Maybe a TV show that you watched that you thought was dope. A food place. Anything that you just thought something was dope that you kind of want to let the listeners know about.
There's so many.
We want to give you a second to think about it.
Have y'all ever seen, this is just online, have y'all ever seen The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
I've seen like previews. I've never actually watched it.
I love that show. It's worth checking out. It is silly, but there's something that's just so right on about it. It'll make you smile and laugh, and it's over the top, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a little crazy, but it's the first thing that came to mind, so I have to go with that. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Okay. That's
yeah,
really
absolutely.
Dope. Where can they find it? Like, what is it?
Netflix. Yeah.
All right.
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. So, just real quick it's this woman who was in a bunker with 4 other women for like 10 years with some guy who kidnapped them and told them that the world was ending and he was keeping them safe. And then they get out of the bunker and she's still stuck like in the late 80s, early 90s as far as music references, TV shows, style. And she wants to not be known for being a bunker person, so she goes to New York City to start a new life. So you have this like, I mean, it's fun.
It sounds actually really
good.
Actually does sound pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's fun. Great characters. Yeah.
With that, what about you? Walt Bauer?
I want to shout out, and I know this is a lot of people aren't like sports fans, but Brian Cashman, the general manager of the New York Yankees, you wizard. You slick son of a bitch, I love you. The New York Yankees today traded for the greatest power hitter in the game of baseball today. Giancarlo Stanton is now a New York Yankee. Brian Cashman, I want to kiss your bald head.
Shout out to him.
So to Brian Cashman, to the Yankees, 2018, we're winning the goddamn World Series.
I'm with that. We gotta go to a game next year.
Yes.
We haven't been to a game in a minute.
The one thing I love baseball.
All right.
Baseball is catcher for the NJ Braves.
There's
Real knowledgeable in it too.
I love baseball.
I think baseball is the most boring sport.
Oh, don't you?
That'd be another podcast.
Don't say it.
Don't. He's like, don't.
Don't say it.
Nah,
Unless
I
it's
love
live. I like going to live
Live
games,
games?
but I won't watch it on TV.
with that. My shout out, actually, since we mentioned a couple things from it today, and he has an audiobook. Shout out to the Model Health Show. It's a really good podcast I started listening to recently regarding your health. And he really breaks shit down, goes into the scientific method of it. It's not boring. It's I'm grasping a lot of really good information from it that I probably would have never got from anywhere else. I mean, I probably could have definitely got it, but just from me, I mean, it's definitely clicking really cool.
All right.
It's just him.
Can I give a second shout out?
Yeah, of course.
Because Kathy Heller is where kind of my podcast listening started. She has a podcast called Don't Keep Your Day Job.
That's interesting.
Inspirational, motivational. She has a lot of amazing guests. So
Don't keep your day job.
Don't keep your day
like
job.
that.
Day job, yeah.
This is fun. My podcasting experiences actually started with my favorite comedian, Bill Burr. He puts out a Monday morning podcast every week, and it is absolutely hysterical.
Bill Burke.
Bill Burr.
Burr.
B-U-R-R. Funniest guy walking
Every
planet
Monday?
Earth today.
How long is
Now he does every Monday and Thursday.
All right.
But when he first started, it was just every Monday. And it's like sporadic. Some Mondays it'll be like 53 minutes. One week it'll be like an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's literally
It's just he keeps going until he's like out of shit, and then he moves on. But it was so popular that people requested that he start doing a second one every week. So now he does a Monday and a Thursday one. And it's tough to keep up. It's tough to keep up with
You
that.
can. I listened to. I started, like I said, I didn't even know what podcasts were. I started listening to the Joe Budden podcast because I'm a huge fan of his music.
Okay.
So I started fucking with that. I loved it. Obviously ours. Then I also listened to the Secret to Success podcast. That's what Eric Thomas, the guy I told you about.
Okay.
Crazy and motivational. It's a motivation podcast, real life stuff to kind of help you just think different. It really just like secrets literally to success, like being happy and successful.
Yeah.
You just drop a lot of gems. You just have open discussions about how maybe you could do things better.
Right.
Or whatever. So I think that's really dope. So I listened to that and then the Model Health Show.
All right.
It's so hard to keep up, like, because I work like between 10 and 13 hours a day. So
Yeah. It'd be easier to keep up if you listen to him in your car.
Or if you're listening to them while you're working.
So wait. How about a book shout out? Let's hear from
well,
you a book that you would recommend.
oh man, a book that I would recommend.
Yeah.
You know what book I actually recently read that was really good? I know he's in like a lot of hot water now, and again, it's going to go over people because they're not sports fans. Loudmouth by a radio host named Craig Carton.
Loudmouth?
Loudmouth, it's called.
What's it about?
It's about his basic rise from being a lowly little sideline reporter in Buffalo to going to Syracuse University, which they have like the greatest journalism school on the planet, to making his way all the way up through the ranks, working in Ohio, working here, to finally being the #1 sports radio show on New York radio.
All right.
I actually want to check that out.
It was a really, 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 really fantastic book. Also, There's a book by a man named Nicholas Irving. It's called The Reaper. Ex-Army Ranger. Fantastic book. He's actually coming out with his second part of it.
Well, thank you.
With that, all right, but thank you for coming through.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Heading back out to the city tonight.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah, that show was really, really dope. That was a really good episode.
Yeah, we appreciate
That was
having
fun. I appreciate being here. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Awesome. And with that, all right, y'all, everybody, if we missed anything, my bad. Go check out her page for tip number 5.
you. Later.
Peace.